Hi, welcome to Comic Talk. I'm Drew,
I'm Christina.
and this is our weekly pull list review episode for March 9th. Today is the 9th.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
cool. So we have 5 titles that we're going to talk about today. We have Vision, Suicide Squad, Descender, Jupiter's Circle, and Catwoman. So we're going to start off with Vision. That's by these people. And I thought it was nice that there's this quote on the front from Brian K. Vaughan where he's just singing the praises of Tom King and his work. And I think that's oddly prophetic because Tom King is kind of a newer writer on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's kind of poised to become like the next Brian K. Vaughan kind of breakout star kind of deal. Just everything that I pick up by him is awesome. So I think he's going to be one of those like cult follower type people pretty soon.
Cool.
So in this, Vision gets questioned about the murder team.
Yes.
It's basically the meat and potatoes of the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first issue that you've ever read of this.
Right.
And this is number 5.
Okay.
So how did you feel?
You know, it really actually didn't feel like I was jumping into the middle of things
Nice.
with this one.
Very nice.
Because I feel like it was its own story,
Mhm.
just following Vision getting questioned, but also seeing his wife and kids just experiencing their daily life. Mostly the kids. Like, I really liked the placing of Merchant of Venice in there. And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
kind of questioning humanity a little bit.
Mhm.
And, like, you know, I mean, these are androids
Right.
living as, I guess, humans.
Yeah, they're
or
trying to do like the
they're,
human
like,
family thing
yeah.
is the thing. Like the Vision is like, yeah, this android type thing that's in the Avengers, and he decided to just make a family for himself.
Right.
And just nobody said anything about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, okay.
It's like,
Well,
Vision,
all right.
do your
yeah.
thing.
But yeah, that first sequence was one of the things that I wrote down. Like it was so perfect to have Merchant of Venice in there
Yes.
and talking about how, you know, this family in previous issues has always been seen as like outsiders, you know, and people are always like out to get them and stuff. And I mean, they are, I mean, I don't want to say that they're like the Jews because that's a
Right.
terrible thing to say.
But I mean, they're
there are similarities that you could
outcasts,
draw
or, like,
from
they're-
their situations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, or by a certain kind of people, or maybe all people, they're just looked at as either less than human, but or just
Right.
not. They're the others. They're not part of humanity.
Yeah.
So
And that's an interesting point. Like, you know, by certain groups at certain points in time, like Jews have been seen as less than human, you know?
yeah. So yeah, I really liked that placement of just. But then later the son asks, if we're cut, do we bleed?
Yeah. Mother, if you
And-
prick me, do I bleed?
Right. Yeah. And so it's
That was amazing.
do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's yeah, once again, kind of bringing up like we are like a family is a family,
Mhm.
like, and there's no formula for it, or like you know how the kids are living, like going to school with everyone else, like
Mhm.
trying to blend in or trying to be normal and trying to be like one with the human race.
Right.
I guess. So it's
Yeah.
like
And that's one of the major conflicts, I think, just in this title in general, is like they just want to fit in so bad.
yeah.
But it's so hard for them, and they're so smart. So it's like,
Yeah.
you
And-
feel for them.
And then I guess and then the mom's like glitching out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
you
she
see,
totally
like,
has a
this
mental breakdown.
breakdown of the
Yeah.
normalcy that they're trying to uphold, and
It's heavy.
it's yeah.
I really liked, and they've done this with a few characters throughout the book, but when they're introducing the detective and just the little details they give
Uh-huh.
about him, like
Yeah.
he went to this high school and he hated it, and all his friends went to college and he didn't.
Mhm.
So he joined the military, and you know he did like his tours or whatever, and he was amazed that he passed the drug test
Yeah.
to like get into cop whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think just little uses of details like that are one of the things that like really stand out to me
Mm-hmm.
about this book, you know, because anybody else would have just thrown that character in and said, hey, here's a detective, and, he's going to take
Right.
him down. And, King's really taken the time to,
Mm-hmm.
like, make him a character, make him worth...
Like, give him... I guess when you know more about any character's background and, like, what led them to where they are now, it kind of gives them a little bit of sympathy. Like, even if, like, right now he is kind of the antagonist.
Right.
But, like, kind of where he comes from a little bit. So it's like a humanizing thing. It's like everything in this is, like, humanizing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just makes you see him in a different light in general. I mean, because normally, like, you see somebody on a page and then you have your preconceived notions and, like, unless you're given something else, like, that's what you're going to go off of.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this makes him fallible, So what did you think about this whole 37 sequence?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I just... And, like, kind of bringing up, like, Loki, Magneto, and Ultron, and then Ultron again, and
Ultron,
like, again.
17 out of the 37.
God, Ultron, go away.
And then his son, and then, like, his wife.
Just like, good lord. And Thanos, I think, is in there at one point, too.
Thanos is in there. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so, like, I mean, this could be, anyone's situation. Like you're a suspect of something and you just have this officer questioning you. But in the background, he's thinking about all the times that he's, saved Earth. And it's like this detective is like questioning like a normal routine, like, where were you on this night? What was your family doing? And yet he's not really questioning a normal person. Like, he's questioning somebody that has saved lives over and over again against, like, really powerful enemies.
Sure. But do you see a sort of similarity, I guess, in the way that most people rationalize when they have to lie and things like that, or just do bad things, and they say, well, I did this and that was a good thing, and I did that and that was a good thing, so I deserve, like, to tell this lie.
Yes, yeah, it's like he's setting up to say, like, well, I've done 37 good deeds.
Yeah.
This one lie shouldn't cancel those out. Like, yeah.
But then he feels like it does, which is just,
Yeah, because he's supposed to be...
He's a robot.
Like
he knows. Like,
right.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows better.
He knows better. Next, we got New Suicide Squad number 18. This is by Seeley and Ferreira, is what we just had to read.
Sure, yeah.
Ferreira. Ferreira. So in this one, there's a note I wrote down of a quote that I really liked, where they're going to their new place that they're going to stay. Like, all the Suicide Squad people that we thought were going to die, they didn't. Shocker.
Right.
But it used to be a prison. And somebody says something about, oh, we're going, out of one prison and into another one.
Right, yes.
And somebody says, well, if that's not a metaphor for life, I don't know what is.
Right.
But that's pretty much, like, the storyline of this issue. Like,
yes.
they escape, and then they end up in another prison in, like, this battle royale kind of scenario.
Is this thing, like, out of the frying pan and into the...
oven? Or something?
Boiling water? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the same concept thing.
It's that thing. Again, new reader perspective.
This one, it was a fairly isolated story, but at the same time, I still had to do a little bit of, like, okay, maybe this happened before, but I mean, it wasn't as solid as Vision with just kind of dropping in, but, like,
Right.
I still kind of got it. I mean, for a second I thought, what's his face? That guy.
Yeah.
I can't
I don't
remember. I
remember
thought he
his
was
name.
Deadpool for a second.
Yeah, I did too. I was like,
he's
what the hell
Death
is...
Trap.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I mean, he
Isn't this a
acts like
DC book?
Deadpool.
Yeah.
And,
They made him British, so I guess that means he doesn't count. Like, he's not Deadpool. He's British. He's clearly not Deadpool.
Is he British? I thought he was...
Maybe Australian or something? He says mate.
Oh.
And
so
a
he's
couple...
Dat. What is that?
Yeah. I was
Bayou?
assuming, like,
I was thinking
Dirty
like
London.
Louisiana.
Really?
The Reed dude just came out of nowhere. That he was just gonna be this like nerdy, awkward guy.
Yeah, that was weird.
Then like all of a sudden he kills his partner and then just carves Cain into his fingers. I'm like, hardcore there. Okay.
Was it Cain or was it Pain? Yeah, I guess it is.
Well, because like all the rest of them have Cain. Oh
Okay.
wait, yeah, and Cain.
Yeah, it is.
Which
I did see it on somebody's chest later.
yeah.
I don't know what the significance of Cain is. Maybe we'll
I
find
mean,
out
could
in
it be just
issues
like
to
the
come.
biblical like Cain kills? Cain is, I mean, like there's a whole
The evil brother.
yes, or like the mark of Cain, which they've marked themselves, but like the mark of Cain is supposed to be like he's like the father of monsters.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, basically he's just bad news wherever he goes. Just
Shit goes awry.
yep, that's what I'm seeing with the whole Cain thing.
Mm-hmm. So what did you like about this?
I liked the Cain thing.
Yeah?
Which is like mostly because like it's familiar to me, or
Mm-hmm.
at least the way that I'm taking it, it's familiar.
I'm sure that's the way they're going with it.
Yeah, and like I'm kind of familiar with some of these characters. Like
There's Harley Quinn. Everybody knows Harley Quinn.
yeah, so it's all about like for this chick,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about redeeming.
Well,
Like-
she was in charge of the Suicide Squad
Yeah.
when they were in captivity, and they just escaped.
I'm not sure. Yeah, that. Well, because and like her attacking this guy was just like what?
He was being a dick.
Yeah, he was. But
It just shows
I
that she's
mean-
not to be trifled with. I think
Right,
that's the
and, like-
moral of the story.
which and then I was kind of like, why was he even baiting her in the first place? Like he was literally saying like, you have a background in like being exposed to
Yeah.
you know the darkness of humanity. Like why is he pointing out anything?
Yeah,
Like if he knows that she can just kick his ass, like what are you doing?
and that's kind of way Suicide Squad has generally gone. It's just like setups for fight sequences, but sometimes you get like
Yeah.
really good setups.
Which
I particularly like this beginning sequence
yeah.
where Harley was telling the story about Deadshot and the lunch lady.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really well done.
And Boomerang.
Yeah, and his fight with Captain Boomerang, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then there was another one that I really liked. Oh yeah, this sort of anecdotal narration over him, the hipster dude
Mm-hmm.
killing the girl, his partner.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the rose tattoo,
Uh-huh.
and that being the sign of like murder, like when you kill your first person,
Yeah.
you see a lady that
I've
has
never
beautiful
heard of
tattoos,
that.
and I hadn't either.
That was
I'm interested to see like where that comes from.
yeah, because I
The patron saint of murder, I guess,
okay.
is murder. A spirit born the moment one person took another's life. Say she appears as a gorgeous lass, hair hanging over an unblinking dead eye. Yes. Yeah, other than that, I mean, it's pretty standard Suicide Squad issue. I mean, there's lots of fighting and people threatening each other and
Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, not the deepest, but I think this one's like pretty well done. I mean, for just a Capes book about a bunch of supervillains,
Yes.
it did a good job developing
Yeah.
all of them. Next up, we have Descender by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. Both pretty big names in their own right. So this one, the true nature of the asteroid city that they have been staying in is revealed. And it is dark.
So dark.
So we talked a little bit before this, and this one was a bit, I mean, just coming into it, like a little confusing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I felt like I was jumping in the middle. I think there was a little bit of a summary at the beginning, like
Mhm.
previously in Descender. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I could kind of glean some background.
Right. Realistically,
but-
to set you up to just jump into this would have to
Mhm.
be like a whole page of
Yeah.
just, yeah,
Yeah, I feel like I needed way more. But
summarizing the past 10. Yeah.
But like the whole evil twin thing. Woo!
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. I actually didn't see that coming because they'd been like besties up to that point. But yeah, I know. I knew it's totally ruined.
Eh.
One thing that's very different about this that I don't think we've talked about in a while is just the artwork. And
Yes.
this super watercolory
Yup.
kind of palette. What did you think of
Mhm.
that?
Well, and yeah, I was kind of wondering, like, like what does that add to the story, and just like how, I mean, nothing is that well defined.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess dealing with humans and like robots, and then like, are there androids in this?
Yes.
Yeah, just like the whole like mix, like it's like, yeah, nothing is defined, like what, and I think there was a point when somebody says like even robot life is life.
Yeah, machine
or
life is still
machine
life.
life is still
Mhm.
life, and so it's like there is no true definition of life. It's just like what is thinking, existing, and being. So I don't know.
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of,
no,
like,
that totally makes
lent
sense.
to the
I never made that connection, I guess, but now that I hear you talk about it, yeah, it totally makes sense. One thing that I thought it would just was kind of reminiscent of old school sci-fi movies that weren't shot on very good cameras and stuff, but yours is like
Yeah.
way better, so I'm gonna go with that, and I'm
Okay.
gonna pass it off as my own idea and like, review this in trade. But this is, yeah, definitely more a story written for trade. But that bit about machine life is still life was something that like really stood out to me about this, because
Yeah.
we see this girl and she's obviously, kind of like punk rock, whatnot. And it makes you think, like, at what point will people start making that? Like, that's going to be the progressive argument at some point in the span of human existence, assuming we don't blow ourselves up before this happens. Like, somebody's going to make that argument.
Well, yeah, like what is life?
Yeah,
And,
really, what is life?
Like, yeah, and well, and yeah, that and vision. Yeah, there seems to be a questioning of like, what is the definition of being human? What's the definition of being alive?
Yeah, just
And,
alive.
Like, yeah.
I mean, if you have, like, if you take the battery out of your phone and, like, throw it on the ground and then there's, like, a dead frog there, like, really, like, what's the difference? Like, they're both going to, like, deteriorate over time.
Right. Yeah.
And they're both cease to fulfill their functions on this planet. They cease to perceive things.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the actual, like, nuts and bolts difference, like, when you get down to it at that point? As far as, like, we can define, really, scientifically.
Right. Well, and like, what was it, 21 and 22? They were talking about their feelings. And like one feels, I think it was at 21 that feels like joy and happiness, and the other feels like
Jealousy.
jealousness. It's really just like evil twin time, but like
Yeah, evil 10.
Yes. And so they're getting into even just questioning like if they feel pain. And I think 21, wasn't he like hooked up to some,
Yeah.
I was not sure what was happening with that one.
He was on a machine. He had a dream in the last issue, and he's supposed to be the key to unlocking this whole big thing that's happening, so they decided to hook him up to a machine and see if they could figure out like what he saw.
Uh-huh. Okay. And so yeah, I think like they asked like does that hurt? And he's just like, not in the way that like it would hurt you,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, he said he
So-
doesn't perceive pain in the same way, but he has things that could be easily likened to
Yeah.
the way that humans feel pain.
Right. So then I guess that gives him even more of a relatable humanness.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I think that's something that has been kind of subtly building in this, or not even subtly, it's obvious, like you want to feel like a sympathy, like little kid human connection to this character. Like, he's a robot,
Yeah.
but the whole point is to like make you see him the same way you would like a little child.
right. He's
Yeah.
even got a pet.
Yeah, he even has a
Got
pet.
little robo friend.
And he misses
robo dog
it.
friend. Yeah. I don't know what happened to it. I guess he had to leave it behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stuck on the other planet with the big drill robot. Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was. Is that an alien?
I don't know what's up with
Wasn't
that
sure
guy.
what that is.
Probably.
Well, that has to be an alien.
Yeah, that guy's an alien.
So then there really is just like all kinds of different life forms like that they're
Yeah, it's the future, man.
dealing with. Yep, I guess
Just get on your
that's
ship and you just...
the times for aliens to come out. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, by the way, we are here on this place.
BT dubs.
Yeah.
One more thing about the artwork. I can't believe I forgot to mention this. And I can't show them because it's in black and white. but the contrast between like the palette for the inside of the asteroid city, whatever, where a lot of times the background would just be white, or
Yes.
like white with just a little bit of extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go back to the place where Andy and Driller and the little robot dog are on,
Mm-hmm.
and just all the reds and stuff. And it
Yeah.
visually just lets you know, like, makes that transition really smooth.
Right,
Like, this isn't
yeah.
happening in the same place,
Mm-hmm.
which can be really difficult because, like, without hard lines and stuff, sometimes characters and places kind of blend together.
Yeah.
But then with a palette, like, it's just not an issue at all.
Right.
So, well done, Dustin.
Hooray.
Hooray for you.
We know where we are.
Buddy.
Jupiter's Circle
Number 4.
with what? Mike Millar and
Mark Millar.
Chris
Sprouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this one, Skyfox saves the team from stolen superpowers and an antimatter universe.
Yes. I
Pretty comfortable coming into it.
well, okay, comfortable in the fact that like I mean, it's kind of just that superhero feeling. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that usually happens. Like, superheroes can be attacked, and then there's that one guy that's like, he's with it. He's like, okay, guess I'm just gonna save all your asses.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty
you
trope
gotta
heavy.
help me a little bit.
And
But
it's interesting because this title, I almost feel bad that this is the first one that you read of this, because this is usually like the most non-cape book that there is. Like, it's just
Really?
completely, yeah, and it's really hard to tell from this issue because that's basically what it is just, you know, your standard superhero story. The only time you really get hints at that other side they're just that, they're hints.
yeah.
So in the beginning, there's the whole thing about the missing vice president, and Skyfox took them. And what's actually happening is this is set in like the 60s or 70s, I think the 60s. And they're having kind of a political split between Skyfox and the Utopian, who's like your Superman facsimile, where the Vietnam War is happening, and the Utopian totally backs the government in the United States and everything, and
Right.
Skyfox doesn't. He's a dissenter. He disagrees with the war. So he's using his superpowers to kidnap the vice president and bring awareness to the anti-war movement and really trying to work that whole agenda, and then just kind of gets sucked into like trying to have to save all their asses.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did think it was interesting to see kind of you know, the what do you call it? Anti-war.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another page with antimatter, and then he's
Yeah.
well,
It's anti-everything.
anti things.
This whole issue is just against things.
And so when was this set? Like the 60s?
Mhm.
Vietnam?
Yeah.
That's funny. I just finished watching all of Mad Men.
Did you?
And that's kind of what they were dealing with, was Vietnam, and like, we don't like the war, but we have to fight it, and we're
Right.
not going to.
Yeah. So yeah, all in all, this one was kind of weird. It's also Jupiter's Legacy, which is like kind of the prequel to this, which is actually set in the future, but it's hard to explain. But
Okay.
that one's very like issue to issue story. Circle, so far, there hasn't been a lot of like continuity between issue to issue. It's all been kind of like one-shot stories that, I mean, they involve like the same people, but it's completely different shit happening. And this one's really like the first one that's a continuation of like the longer form storytelling that we've seen in Circle,
Okay.
which I'm a little indifferent about. I kind of like the one-shots, and I like the issue before this, like where it was going, but it just feels like a little bit of a cheap wrap-up to, I mean, like what's happening now? Like he was a dissenter and like going against the group and, you know, trying to fight for what he personally believed in, and then they got in trouble, and then he's like, well, okay, guys, I guess I'm back on the team. Like,
yeah.
it's so cheap. I hope they don't go with that. So Mark Millar, don't fuck this up for
Don't do it.
me and her and the 130 people that subscribe to this.
Yeah. Catwoman.
Catwoman. Lastly, we have Catwoman, number 50. And this is by Thierry, Miranda, and De La Cruz. So she escapes from prison and finds Mr. Blunt, who she's been looking for some time. This one I see as being pretty. I mean, it pretty well reestablishes all the important points in the storyline. Would you agree? Like, did you feel a little bit weird about anything? Or?
No, actually, I was thinking while I was reading it, like, I almost didn't need to read many of the previous issues because they, either in dialogue or in her, just like in her narration, I mean, it kind of repeats what happened, so...
Yeah. And this is part 4 of the story, so, you know, if there was a point where it would have departed past that, like, it probably would have been prior to this, or at least this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think they did a pretty good job establishing all the pieces that need to be established, and at a $4.99 book, they had the space to do it, so I'm glad they did.
It definitely felt like an ending.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, especially coming in at the end. Is this the very last issue? Or is this just the last part of the story?
DC's doing a big reboot thing. I think it's happening at 51. So I think there may be one more issue after this, but I'm not sure. I don't think it'll be related to the storyline if it is, because the way that it ended, like, it really...
She's on vacation, like, she's on the beach.
She fucked over Mr. Blonde, who I'm not going to spoil because, you know, whatever. And then, she went on vacation.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you go ahead? I think you have a lot more than I do.
Oh, no. I was just writing, like, who made some appearances that I know, like, recognize, like Clayface.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot remember where I've seen Clayface before. I think just on, like, Justice League.
Yeah.
The TV show.
Cartoons. I love them.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be embarrassed about watching those. Like, I totally have. Yeah, like binge watch them on the internet.
That's
as an adult.
Yes,
so.
That was just a few months ago.
Nice. Did you like it overall?
Justice League?
Yeah.
I did. I did not really like Justice League Unlimited.
Really?
It just felt like all the superheroes, like, were just, like, thrown up into the show. It's like, we're all here now for some reason. Like, why?
I did really like the Question in Justice League Unlimited, the detective-looking guy with no face.
Yeah.
Like, he's, like, my favorite character in, like, that entire show. Like, he's amazing.
Yeah.
There's that one scene where they're, like, torturing him and trying to get information, and he's just, like, saying bullshit.
Yeah.
The plastic things at the end of shoelaces are called aglets. Their true purpose is sinister. What the fuck ever.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a big parade of people through here. Victor Zsasz made an appearance.
Like Poison Ivy.
Harley Quinn. Yeah. And when I got to that, I was really worried about it because the Harley Quinn comic right now sucks. Like, it's just not good. Yeah, don't.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I think people just buy it for, like, collectability value or...
I want to see Poison Ivy things.
Yeah, she actually has a limited series coming out, or that's out right now.
Oh,
I haven't heard anything about it. But there's also, I think, another one coming up that's, like, a team-up for Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and I couldn't remember who the other, like, one or two were. So I was like, God damn it, I hope it's not Catwoman, because I don't want her to get pulled into that Harley Quinn shitness.
Well, see, and, like, she is, which, I mean... That I was kind of wondering about. I mean, because so many times, like, Catwoman is either against Batman or, like, she's kind of helping him.
Yeah.
But, like,
it's complicated.
I'm going to do this for you, but later you're going to do something for me.
Yeah. And then they screw on the side.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah.
So then this is like, wait, is Batwoman... What? I mean, I don't quite know...
Are you talking about, like, hero versus villain, like, where she fits?
Like, if they're...
She's a tweener.
Yeah, so...
She rides the line.
Right, and so then, like, with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, like, I don't know if they're also tweeners.
Not really. I imagine
typically...
probably in their solo series, they probably try to paint them more as tweeners.
Right,
But in greater continuity, I guess, like, whatever that means, like, they're supposed to be villains.
Okay.
I also liked... So she has the meeting with Mr. Blonde, and they have this... very textbook kind of argument where it's like, this is what I have on you, and it's like, oh no, this is what I have on you.
Right.
And then we find out later she ends up getting the upper hand, of course, because she's so in Kyle, she does what she wants.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really clever that she played the part in person. Like, she let him think that he defeated her, and was just like, okay, like, I'm sorry, just, do whatever. And then
Right.
she really did exactly, like, she planned the whole thing.
Which, even in her narration, it didn't show that. So it really was just out of left field.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
of course, then that made me question, like, was that too easy for her? Like, was
Yeah.
there any... I almost, like, wish that they would have shown, like, some difficulty
Yeah.
in getting all of that help.
Yeah.
Like, in I guess, defeating Mr. Blonde. Like, or just getting him off her back. But it was pretty clever.
It was clever. And I think that's maybe the clever part about it is just that you perceive it as defeat. And you perceive it as a pretty easy defeat for Mr. Blonde. But then, like, it's just not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a different approach to battle. It's like you show the defeat of one, and then that results in the defeat of the other. And the triumph of the original one.
Yeah.
One big criticism, though, this... What the hell?
I know. I was like, is this part of the story? Or
Yeah,
is this, like, to be continued? Or, like, why is this here?
It was inconsequential and dumb. And
I mean, like, it's an interesting story on an artifact that maybe was her first big heist. I don't know. Like, was this what made her into Catwoman? Is this what...
She got bit by a radioactive cat. Didn't you watch the Halle Berry movie?
No.
But then at the end, it's like, oh, she's at the Justice League headquarters thing, and they're like, oh, we're training you, and blah blah. I don't understand why, or
I don't know.
If they had left that out and made it $3.99, I would have been happier.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that I paid $1 for this little backstory that has
no
consequence.
Right. And I don't know if it's gonna. Maybe it'll come up later.
I don't know. They got different artists on it.
Like maybe the mask. Somebody takes the mask again. I have no idea.
Could be. It even has a different writer. Frank Thierry wrote it. No, Thierry wrote this too. Okay, so why?
It's just like, wait, I have another idea. Let's just throw this in.
Well, the artists are different, so I thought.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, but
yeah.
The rest of the issue was, I guess, good enough to make up for.
I like the little the crazy guy. She said so. She was questioning, like, even though she was in her cell, and the first guy that attacks her, I don't know.
Oh, Zaz?
Yeah,
the cutout guy.
Yeah, and she, is in her narration, she's talking about how, like, it almost seems like he has superpowers, and then she's like, maybe crazy is a superpower.
Yeah,
it's like. Yeah,
because
like,
he's really fast and you hit him and he likes it. So, like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
Like, he doesn't need to be invulnerable because he gets off, so to speak, on being vulnerable.
Right. Like, he doesn't care, or he likes it.
Yeah.
And it's this is fun for him. So it's like, you just gotta knock him out, I guess.
Yeah.
Somehow, but
kill him or something. Yeah.
But I just thought that was interesting. Just crazy as a superpower.
Yeah, it was good. They did a good job building him up, too. I wouldn't call him, like, a B-list villain, but he's definitely somebody that Batman defeats pretty quickly most of the time.
I mean...
So it was cool that they gave him, like, a due diligence or whatever you call it.
Right. Yeah, because it seems like mostly all these guys are
Yeah.
And...
Yeah, he just got knives and he just murders people.
Yeah.
Keeps tally marks on them.
Yeah. I've never encountered him before, so I wasn't sure, like, what those tally marks were, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he's been on the Gotham TV show, but I think as far as, like, popular media, that's about it.
My boyfriend calls it Gotham.
Gotham?
Yes. We watched a couple episodes of that, but it was kind of... felt a little pandering. It was like...
A little bit.
Everything is just, like, laid out, like, this is this person, this is this person.
Yeah.
We already know who it's going to be. And, like,
and
it's supposed to be, like, developing.
Yeah.
But it's too obvious.
Yeah,
like,
it's
Penguin,
super easy.
It's like, you just know. Like, you just look right at him. And, like, maybe they were like, oh, that's genius. You just look right at him and he's Penguin. That's like, I don't know. Like, you could still make it a little harder for us to see it. Like,
yeah, it has to be Jeff Johns' creative input because he's super into all those, like, just little artifacts and, just stupid little crap that adults don't like. unless they have a beard only on their neck. Yeah, I still watch it because I have to, but
Yeah.
I can't explain it beyond that. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Pull List. Shout out to Josh on his honeymoon. Hope you're having a good time.
Cool.
Yeah, and we'll be back. Actually, there'll be an episode on Monday that's been pre-recorded with me and Josh, and then we will be back next week with another one of these.
Yes.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Facebook, Twitter. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.